Yo guys, what is going on? Tenebrous here. Welcome back to another video, and I am back from vacation, and hope everyone had a wonderful New Year's, Merry Christmas, and we are going to be talking about Childish today, as you guys probably know if you follow me on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I recommend you guys do that right now. Shameless self-promotion. I mean, guys, so pretty much this guy named Childish recently got banned from Hypixel. I'm going to talk about that a little later, but he's been hacky stated by a bunch of my friends, and I've taken a look at the evidence, and I believe the evidence is there. I believe that the evidence is significant enough to prove that he's hacking 100%. I personally believe that he's using a low-level reach slash misplace. I'm going to explain that in a second, exactly why I believe that. But yeah, so this guy's a scumbag. He's lying to his fans. He projects his own insecurities onto me. He's a hypocrite. He's arrogant, and he's just an overall cunt. So let's get right into the video. Alright, so as most of you guys know, Childish uses reach. So the evidence I have for this is this guy named Nightcolor uploaded a video where he's clearly getting hits that are outside the hit range. Now, when Childish makes a video in response to Nightcolor, he basically tries to act all smart, saying there's something to do with the fact that the other person's in the air. But if you watch the clip very closely, here, I'm going to play it right now.
Creepers iffy, Stevie got the diamonds up, chest that holds 27, MC gang.
Yo, Pierre, you wanna come out here?
Pop these diamonds like a pickaxe, Stevie, you a silly Stevie. In the village with them scary mobs and them skelly shooting. You run up and they shooting arrows, we ain't using axes, yo creeper. You a loser, MC up the arrow, MC on the roof. Arrows in my hopper, your Steve on my phone, she one of mine, but she keep...
Okay, so we're going to start with this clip. We're going to go through each one of the clips that proves that he uses reach, and we're going to also be looking at his response video. He made two of them. They're both like 20 minutes long. And yeah, so basically in this clip, you can clearly see that he's moving backwards when he gets the hit. Now, if he was moving forwards, that would make more sense. But if you watch it very carefully, he's traveling backwards and then gets the hit. And not only that, he's traveling back and up and looking down, which completely makes the reach distance much lower than it was before. And if you count the blocks right here, you can see that he is standing on, I believe, what is the third block, and the person who is fighting is also standing on the third block. They're both standing on the middle, which means that there's 3 blocks in between them, which means he's using about 3.5, I would say like 3.3 reach in this clip. And then proceeds to get this very insane combo, which seemingly came out of nowhere, after taking velocity backwards. And guys, this is obvious enough that I don't really need to show anymore, but we're going to look at what his response to this clip is in his response video.
Wait, right off the bat, I want you guys to notice that it's not like I'm just straight up walking up to them and just like outreaching them on the first hit. Like, we're like trading for a bit, and I get like, you guys will see right now actually.
Okay, so this is a common misconception. Just because he's using reach does not mean that he's going to get a reach hit the first hit. Number one, there's such thing as combo mode, and number two, he could still miss hits when he's using reach. It's not a killer, it's not a guaranteed hitboxes, he's not using hitboxes, so basically, this argument's pretty much mute, considering the fact that he you know, there's lots of different explanations that you know could come into play. So let's continue with the video.
So we both come into contact with each other, same Y level. We both hit each other, right? We hit each other again, but this time the player who's recording literally he takes like vertical knockback, like he's up in the sky right now, like he's literally like at least a block above me. And as I mentioned before about the low ground advantage, I would have an advantage over him because I'm lower.
Okay, so now this is really pathetic because Childish pauses the video before the guy even gets a hit. It literally does not matter what Y level the person's on before they get the hit. And if you didn't want to manipulate people into believing that you're legit, why did you pause the video too soon? Why didn't you wait until you were moving back and up away from the guy before you got the hit? It makes absolutely no sense. You're taking this evidence completely out of the original clip that it was in, and it doesn't make any sense because, as you can see right here, you move back and up, and you don't go exactly to the same level he does, but you're still up close enough that it won't provide that much of an advantage. You can clearly see that the advantage you're getting, the hits that you're getting, cannot be explained by the Y level. I've counted the blocks. If you count the blocks, it's at least 3.5 to 4 blocks in between you guys. And just because you're below him by, if say you're below him by let's say a quarter of a block, that still doesn't explain a 3.5 to 4 block hit. It's just ridiculous. It doesn't explain it.
Pretty much I end up hitting him again. And you can clearly see that he's literally on top of this block right now. So, meaning he's way higher because I'm down here. Not to mention he's still taking knockback and going upwards every time. And I'm pretty sure I hit him right there. I think he replays it actually. Literally this hit right here, like, dude, you can literally count the blocks. 1, 2, 3. He's in range of me. 1, 2, like, you can... This is clearly in range, so I don't see how this is over 3 hits.
I mean, this is the second time this guy just did it again. He took the clip completely out of the original context that it was in. He basically paused it on the second hit, and once again, if you use reach, that doesn't necessarily guarantee every single hit is going to be a reach hit. That's impossible to do without an aura, right? So he's excluding the second hit he got and then skipping to the third hit when he's probably in the range of the player. But before that, he doesn't pause the video on this clip, and I'm going to show you guys right now. If you count the blocks, let's count the blocks. All right, guys, so here's the clip in the full context and not pausing the video randomly to show a section where you're not actually getting a reach hit. And as you can see here, if you count the blocks, you can clearly see that it is definitely above the normal hit range, while the hit that he gets after that is not, because of course when you use reach, that doesn't guarantee that you get a reach hit. That's just a complete and utter misconception. But if I would have to guess, I would think he's probably using around like 3.3, again 3.5 blocks of reach. It's not something that's a huge advantage. It's something that's significant enough to give him an advantage, but not something enough to get him banned.
Literally.
Alright guys, so here's the second clip. This is recorded by my boy Cerny. As you can see, he's getting a sketchy hit. It's easily 4 blocks, and he's also traveling backwards. Now his excuse for this is, he said that he's not taking much knockback because the wall's behind him, but that doesn't really explain it, because he's still traveling backwards, and the distance is over 4 blocks easily, if you count it. So, let's see really quickly right here. Let's see. Oh, hey Cerny. Childish was hacking in the video that you were recording, right? The one that
That's
was
the fake Childish, though. Yeah.
the one in Night Colors video.
Pardon?
The one in Night Colors video, Childish was hacking, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Sure.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right, so other than that, he basically has no explanation. He literally says, like, the fact that he's unable to defend himself just shows that he is most likely cheating. He straight up says that he has no explanation for this hit, and the fact that he's unable to defend himself just shows the fact that, number one, he put low effort into his content. He has no idea how to explain this hit, and not only that, I don't think he really seems to care. I mean, he appears not to care in this clip. He's putting no effort in trying to explain the clip. All he says is there's a wall behind him, and that doesn't really mean anything. So let's just play the clip. I mean, he's gonna say it himself. Like, there's nothing else I can say.
Alright, so this is probably the only hit in this entire video that I'm unable to explain. I'm unable to explain.
Okay, so now here's the third clip. Now in this clip, you can clearly see that Childish is taking velocity, and the guy he is attacking is taking velocity. And in fact, Childish is taking velocity that is actually after, because the guy gets the attack after Childish hits him, right? So what's happening here is the guy is actually falling while Childish is rising. So they're approximately at the same Y level. So you can't really use Y level as an excuse here, considering that not only is he looking at you, you're also on the same Y level as him. And it's going to be pretty interesting to figure out what type of excuse you're going to try to come up with for this, because it's blatantly obvious that you're using reach. You're on the exact same Y level. There's no other explanation for it. Because as far as I can tell, the only excuse you can really come up with is that you're using a knockback modifier. If you're not taking the same KB as him, then you're using a knockback modifier, which of course would always give you the low ground advantage if you turn vertical down. That's just how it works. Turning vertical down is going to get you to not go as high up, right? So you're going to be on a different Y level. So it doesn't really make any sense here. So either you're using a knockback modifier or you're using reach. What? Like, this is ridiculous. Let's try to see what he says. Let's see what he says right here.
So this is the third clip. I mean, I honestly don't see what's wrong with this, to be honest. I'm assuming so that hit was apparently a 3-block plus hit, because I didn't hit him before that.
This is the third time or more that you've taken this evidence completely out of the original context that it was in. You paused the video after the particles started appearing up. This is not where you got the hit. You got the hit when you were on the exact same or very similar Y level to this guy, and you were not below him at all. So why are you taking the clip completely out of the original clip to try to pause the video to make it look like you're not hacking, but you really are? Why would you do that if you're legit? It doesn't make any sense.
So that's where I got the first hit when he replays it.
So once again, this is not where he got the hit. I've shown it before. I'm going to show it right now on the screen that he got the hit much before, and he's going to use the excuse for the Y level, but this doesn't make any sense because they're on the same Y level. Anyway, let's go to the next clip. Alright, so just a quick word before we go to the next clip. He spent, what, 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes in his video in single player trying to prove that he's legit. So this is a completely false comparison because in single player, people's pings are actually 0, which means that the hit that might be possible in single player is not going to be possible on the server, especially with movement. So I don't understand what this is supposed to prove. There's no point in him going in single player at all. Like, this is just dumb. So yeah, let's go to the next clip. And
pretty much, he's saying that this is 3 blocks plus. And I just want to say, so pretty much right now he's currently leaned against this fence because this fence is on the other side that he's standing on too, which counts as a full block. So he's pretty much even with this block, but on this side. And so if you literally count the blocks, like, I'm on the edge of this. This is where I hit him. Like, when I was behind here, I wasn't hitting him at all.
Alright, here's another clip where he claims that this is where the hit occurred, but the hit actually occurred much before. It doesn't really matter how far back he is, because, of course, reach is calculated also from the diagonals, so because he's farther behind where he was in terms of the horizontal and not the thing that's straight behind him, it doesn't really matter. He's still taking the same thing out of context. So let's go to the next one.
Like, when I was behind here, I wasn't hitting him at all.
Alright, here he is again with the single player bullcrap. The pings, your ping is 0 in single player, so once again, this does not matter. But we're going to skip to a section in this where he tries to say that this is the hits he was getting, which are not the hits that he was getting. And we're going to look at this really carefully, and he's not getting anywhere near the hits that he was getting in the video.
But this is pretty much as best as I can do to actually show, so we're going to push this zombie right here. This is literally where he was standing. A little bit in between, actually. And I was standing right over here.
Okay, now let's take a look at where he was actually standing. So he says that he was standing, let's say, 3 blocks from the wall. Now, where was he actually standing when he got the hit? Let's see. Okay, so in this clip, you can clearly see he's at least half a block farther away in this clip than the previous clip. If you look very carefully, you can see it. And not only that, in the clip where he's in single player, he's not anywhere on the same axis the other guy that he was on the ranked sky was. In ranked sky, whereas he was actually hitting his opponent before he got into the same, let's call it the, I don't know, a Z coordinate. He's the same Z coordinate as he's running into it. As you can see, he's not directly in front of the person. He's kind of a little bit before where the person is in terms of being straight ahead. So this is just completely false comparison. As you can see, he's gonna try to say that he's on the edge of the block here, but if you look like very carefully, you can see that he's more on the 4th block out or the 3rd block out, and less on the 4th block out. Sorry, the 3rd block out, and more on the 4th block out. You can see right here. So it's a complete miscount and just wrong.
Again, so like that completely changes everything. Like, we're both sprinting towards each other. It's not like he's just like I'm just standing still, like pinning him against the wall.
While this may be true, it still does not explain the hit that you got. It just doesn't, because that hit's impossible. Anyone who plays on the map knows that you can't reach from that far away without a reach modification. Anyways, guys, so let's talk about the next part of this video, which is his misplace. So let's go. Alright guys, so if you guys don't already know, Childish also uses misplace in this clip. He hits through a block. I'm going to explain exactly why that's misplace and why that makes sense. So here's his response before we actually go into the clip. You can see he made a big comment about it, and we're going to go over the comment after we look at the clip, but we're going to first explain why the clip is 100% impossible. No matter how you try to spin this, it's 100% impossible. He is using misplace. 100% definite, I can say with 100% certainty that he is. Alright, so here's the clip. As you can see, in this clip, the person recording this, by the way, is Deli, I believe. Yeah, so Deli, shout out to him for the clip. He basically blocks off himself from Childish, and Childish basically just attacks him through the block. And as you can see, when he looks down, you can see that there's no visible entrances to where he could have hit him from. So it's 100% impossible for him to have broken a block. Not only that, I'm going to turn up the audio really quickly right now so you guys can hear it, that the audio shows that there was no block broken by Childish. So that's also another sign that no block was broken. So he does actually try to spin it to say that he did hit through the block. And he said that his body was sticking out through the corner of the block. I wonder why that would be. Okay, guys, so this is right about before Childish got the hit through the block. As you can see, when he placed the block, and by the way, you can't claim that this is lag because the block is placed the block is registered server side, and so is the attack. So there's no lag here. You can't just swing and then expect to get an attack 3 seconds later. That's not exactly how it works if you are timing it with other methods such as the block placement. Anyway, as you can see, he's clearly against the stone here, so he's nowhere near the corner. As I'm going to try to replicate this in game in a second to show you guys that looking at where this guy's looking, you cannot get the through wall hit. It's impossible. The reason why it's impossible is because you need to be close enough to the corner for your hitbox to actually eclipse the block itself, so you can hit through the wall. So it's pretty much impossible at the certain angle that he's looking, because you can tell, because you can't have this point of view if you're in the corner. It's impossible. You can't just have that point of, it doesn't work like that. So I'm going to show this right now. Alright, so as you can see right here, from this position, you cannot be in this corner at all. It's impossible. You have to be looking this way. If you look at the clip of where Deli was looking, you can see that he must have been looking from this direction. So this is completely impossible. Alright, so before anyone says he's on a higher FOV or whatever, I'm on Quake Pro right now, and I still can't get the same angle the guy was at. In fact, this actually looks extremely similar to what Deli was at, and I'm 95% sure that he was against the stone wall there. So, and it's not really a matter if there's any other corners he could have hit through, because if you look right before he got the attack, so unless he's like using speed hacks or something, this is the position or the look that he's like, the way he's looking, or the position that he's at before he gets the attack, and you cannot say that he moved, you know, to the other side of the block or whatever before, because otherwise it would be faster than what is humanly possible. So you can't use the excuse that he might have like hit through a different corner, because there's not really other corners that you can hit through at where he was. Oh, and also, just to prove that these are the two possible corners you could have hit through, again, he actually is above the Deli in this clip. Clearly, as you can see, his name tag is quite above, as you saw in the previous clip. So he either hit through this corner right here, because he's standing on this block, or he hit through this corner. Those are the only two possible options, considering where Deli is looking. That is completely impossible, because Deli's hitbox could not have gone through this block. You can only get a hit through a block if the person's standing directly in the corner, and I'm going to demonstrate this right now. Alright, so here we are. So I got my ult in this little area right here, and we're going to kind of try to replicate exactly where Deli was. So pretty much Deli, I think, was right around here, looking this way. But let's be a little conservative, and let's say that he was looking straight on, because of course if you move this way, your look has to go this way. So basically, let's say he's looking straight on, right? Let's see if I can actually hit my ult through the wall. Doesn't seem to be the case. Interesting. So let's move a little bit farther, which is completely farther away, or closer to, yeah, there we go. Now I can hit him, right? So I have to be looking this way for me to be able to hit him. And Deli was looking this way. which means that he was not in the corner, which means the hit is completely impossible, except if Childish was using Misplace. Alright guys, so now we have Misplace on, and as you can see, the Misplace is causing my body to kind of glitch a little bit outside the wall. It kind of goes intermittently, it's kind of weird, but I can actually get a hit through, and just keep in mind guys, I'm actually looking right here, which is pretty much where Deli was looking. I can actually get a hit through the block if we turn it up a little bit, up to probably around there. You can see that I just got a hit through the block while I was standing right here. So this basically proves 100% that it's Misplace. I would say that the settings he was using were around 3.3, 3.4, maybe 3.5, which pretty much lines up with the other reach things. So that's pretty much the end of the accusation part of this video, and I'm probably going to make this into a part 2. So I will see you all in the next one tomorrow. Peace out.